Good evening. This is Hash Snooze's coronavirus coverage, and I'm your intrepid reporter, Chevy Chaser. Top news today. The economy takes a shit. We're talking about a big shit. How big of a shit? We're talking about if your lover was letting you shit on their chest, as one does, you wouldn't just get shit on the bed. We're talking about shit on the floor, maybe shit on the wall, so you're gonna have to plastic the whole bedroom. That's how big this deuce is. We're talking about sex in a porta potty after a chili cook-off shit. That's right. You get a little finger up there, next thing you know, things are going. Woo! Anyways, the economy, bad, as I already told you. How bad? Well, the stock market has fallen 30% in 1 month, outdoing any other kind of drop that we've ever seen before. We've basically completely shut off our economy, throwing millions of people out of work. How many is a million? Well, it's more than 1,000. Quite a bit more. It's a lot. So don't worry about it. Are you one of these people? Then you probably already know what a million is. It's like you, but more. Anyways, Congress has proven that despite the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic and economic crisis, that they will still let the small little differences between them that realistically mean nothing on the grand political spectrum of the world keep them from doing shit. In fact, as the economy burns to the ground, they are currently in the Capitol building arguing about what kind of fire hose to use to start putting out the blaze. Ooh, should we have like a fancy brass fittings on this? Oh, I think we need like a bigger hose. That's the kind of shit we're talking about. Guess what, guys? We don't need time for you guys to argue about your little finagling bullshit. We need action. We need men of action, women of action, dogs of action, everything of action. How hard is it to actually get off your ass, come to a compromise, and do a goddamn bill? It's a $2 trillion bill. $2 fucking trillion. You can find enough money to do everything that you all want to do if you just pull your heads out of your asses. Guess what? We need small businesses. Guess what? We need corporations right now. They're making all the shit that's fighting the virus. So maybe we should just agree to disagree and just get on with our lives and actually do something. Anyway, sorry, economic rant over. Economic background, I'm allowed, you're not. Anyways, back to the news. In happier news, Portland has been blessed by the entrepreneurship that has always made this city both great and / or weird. Due to strip clubs closing across the city, we have a lot of them, one intrepid strip club business, the Lucky Devil Lounge, has started Boober, an food delivery service where topless women in pasties will come to your house and prove to your neighbors that you're some kind of pervert. That's right. If you've ever wondered to yourself, have you ever been sitting at home during this crisis thinking, man, I could really go for some strip club food? Guess what? We have you covered. But you know what? I know what you're thinking. I don't want to look like some kind of weirdo calling up the service. You're not. You're actually a philanthropist, or maybe a philanderer, or maybe both. But really, it's the first one that's important. Because a lot of strippers have no other line of work. They really don't have access to unemployment because they're independent contractors working for tips. Because the strip industry is about one of the most god-awful industries you can think of for treating its workers. In fact, we should probably have a strippers union, but that's something we should work on after the pandemic. You know, one thing at a time. Mark it down though on your calendars. In bigger news, Oregon proves once again that our people are kind of jackasses, because as soon as the fact that the governor was going to make an announcement to start doing a mandatory stay-at-home order, everyone flocked to the coast, overcrowding small rural communities that have at most 4 ICU beds within 100 miles, proving once again that people are this jackasses when given the opportunity. The governor responded to this by actually putting a goddamn stay-at-home order in place, basically threatening anyone who doesn't obey, only leaving home for their work necessity or some light exercise, with a $1,250 fine, which for those of you doing the math is equivalent to about 250 hashes, or if you're a Stumptowner, 125 hashes, or if you're a Kahuna hasher with that weird $7 thing they got going on right now, that is a total of 178.57 hashes. So it's something to think about before you leave the house. Maybe we should just maybe save some money. and also not spread this terrible disease farther than it already is gone. And guess what? It is gone. Everywhere. Today we hit a milestone. Not a good milestone, a bad milestone. 100 people died of coronavirus in the United States in a single day, bringing the total to 500. Now, if you're not a big mathematician, which, to be fair, I mostly masturbated and slept my way through math class, usually at home, sometimes in class. It was complicated. Big classroom, people didn't notice. Anyways, for those of you who weren't doing that, you probably know that that makes an accelerating death curve. And the problem with an accelerating death curve is it's, well, accelerating, getting faster. More and more people dying every day. The only way we can stop this is by hitting the brakes. How do we hit the brakes? We stay away from each other. It's pretty goddamn simple math. I mean, sure, I could be out licking my friend's eyeballs like I usually do, or I could be at home doing the right thing. I think it's time that we start all doing the right thing. And a lot of these times we want to think about ourselves. What matters to us? What do we want to do? We can't think that way anymore. No, we need to start thinking about others. And not in the normal way that we start thinking about others. No, I'm not talking about with all our clothes off, really just tumbling away at each other, which is kind of awkward to imagine that while you're sitting there across the table from somebody, or when they're this even somewhere else. But either way, we have to start thinking in a different way about each other. Our clothes can still be off, but we have to think, man, how can I help this person whose clothes are off without expecting anything in return? That's right. We're a community, a hash community, a city community, county community, state community, country community, world community, solar system community. Less important right now. Let's focus on the world community and less. Either way, we are a community, which means that we need to help each other. There's going to be a lot of things going on. There's going to be friends who get sick. There are going to be friends who have to go underneath quarantine. What can we do to help them? There are going to be friends who need help getting their errands done. Maybe some older people who need some favors done. Maybe sexual favors. Don't do those. Remember, limited contact. But maybe there's going to be friends who are going to be out of work. It's a good goddamn bet there's going to be a lot of friends who are going to be out of work. How can we help those friends through this situation? What can we do for each other? I think that's the challenge we all have to face. And this is going on way too long, so I'm going to leave you with that. Help each other. This is Chubby Chaser with Hash News. Keep your balls dry.